Hey guys, Stan here. Welcome to a new episode of the Beginner's Guide. Before we start with that, I said I will reveal the winner of the giveaway, of the G29 giveaway in this one, and I'm a bit late with the fourth episode, so let's just do that first. So what I did is I used a website called commentpicker.com. Let's use this scene. This is the URL of the video. Filter duplicate users, yeah, blah, blah, blah. So first attempt, I actually won the wheel myself. Rigged. But no, I redid it, of course. And the winner of the wheel is Röhrig TV. So I'm gonna send you a message, tag you in the comments. So please send me your address to get the wheel. I hope you will have fun with it. He said, I've played iRacing AC for a long time with controller and it's very hard to drive constantly. Yeah, that's true. That's the reason I need a wheel, but my budget is very low. So yeah, Röhrig, congratulations on winning the wheel. There will probably be more giveaways on the channel, so stay subscribed and check what's coming next. For today's episode, a lot of people asked me about overlays. So we're going to cover that, but before I come to that, a big thank you to Ascher Racing, who's now sponsoring this channel. I mean, look at this gorgeous wheel. It's the F64-USB 64 input function. So much stuff. I don't even use all of that. Magnetic shifters, dual clutch. You can also use it for brake and acceleration, for example, if you want to. Very, very nice wheel. Super high quality. Very happy with it. I'm gonna make a review for the channel, of course. But I want to use it for a few more weeks until I get a proper verdict. But I'm very, very impressed with it. I mean, I've been using the Ascher C26S, I think, before, and was always happy with Martin's products. So very, very, very happy with this. But yeah, beginner's guide. UI. Basically, there are, I would say, three big options. That is SDK gaming, that is caps, and that is a quite new one called RaceLab apps. So if you've been following my Twitch, by the way, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, link in the description below. Most of the time I have been using a mix of caps and SDK gaming. So what you see here, why do we not have sound? Oh, never mind. What you see in the top left corner is an element of the SDK gaming overlay. There are standings. And in the bottom left corner, you see caps for the relative. I mean, SDK Gaming has a nicer relative as well, but it's I haven't set it up yet, so that's what I have been using. And for example, this is part of caps as well. But recently I switched to RaceLab apps. That looks like this. Well, I still have caps running, so ignore this part. But get nice looking standings. You have the relative. I think it looks very clean. Super nice. You have a fuel calculator here. And it's pretty easy to set up. So you can get it at the RaceLab apps Discord. I'll give you a Discord invite in the description below, so check that. And what you want to do is join the Discord, obviously, and then go to releases. And download the latest app here. I think they don't have a website yet. This is still super new, like 3 months or so. I think the first version I tested in December last year or so. But they are making great progress. They listen to the user base. You can make suggestions here and everything. Istvan, the guy behind it, very nice guy. He's also streaming on Twitch, RaceLab on Twitch. But yeah, check it out. Then if you download it, you get this page. You have the overlays here. You have the relative, you have standings, you have an advanced panels you can use for inputs, stuff like that, a fuel calculator, and the garage car. Garage car is nice for streaming if you want to hide your setup. In case you wonder why so many streamers do it, most of them use paid setups, and obviously these setup shops are not too happy about being the setups shown on screen. One thing first, if you want to use it locally on your screen, what you need to do is run iRacing in windowed mode. So I'm not using full screen and I'm not using borders, so it looks like full screen, but it's actually window mode. That way the overlay can be put on top of the application. And if you just want to run it locally, all you need to do is click here, open in overlay mode. And then this appears on your screen. You can just move it around with your mouse and just quickly hide the OBS overlay. So that's what you get. You can put it here, for example. Then let's say you want to have the standings as well. You click on those. They open on the left side of my ultra wide. That's why you can't see it. You can put it here. And let's say advanced. I don't use this, but if you want to, you can use it. If you don't need it, right click, close. Fuel calculator is useful. So I'll put that somewhere behind the camera. Yeah, very good idea. And garage car, yeah, that's only needed if you stream. Once you positioned those, in the old version there was the issue you couldn't click the buttons that are below the overlay. What you can do now is press Ctrl L on your keyboard, and that works. You can't move them around after that, so they are fixed in their position. If you want to move them again, just press Ctrl L and unlock them. But yeah, since I'm using it in OBS, I'm gonna close these again, and yeah, you can do the configuration here. Just it's super simple to understand. These are my configurations if you want to use those. And for the standings, it's this. I use Montserrat because I like the font. The Formula font looks nice as well. But yeah, that's the RaceLab apps overlay, and the best thing is this one is free. So check it out. If you don't like it, you can always try another overlay, but that's what I have been using on the last streams, and so far very, very nice. Okay, so what I also want to cover in this episode is actually pit stops. How to do them, how to set it up, how to calculate your fuel. I mean, you can either just manually calculate the fuel you need. For example, you go to the black box that shows you the fuel. Let me show it to you. It's this one. You check 19.7 liters. You do one lap, see how much fuel you need, and by that you can calculate how much you need over the race. But I would use one of the overlay apps for that. So for example, fuel calculator of RaceLab apps. Obviously it doesn't know how much fuel you need, so you need to put in some laps. Actually, one clean lap is what you need. So that's what we are going to do now. Lime Rock Park in the Skippy. This is a nice D-Class series, by the way, so if you're out of the rookies and want to do open wheelers, Skippy is very fun. It has the new tire model, it is on the new damage model, which, well, do a race in the Skippy and then you know what I mean. It can be carnage, especially here in the lower splits. Oh, never mind. I thought this is with the chicane. The chicane can be carnage. But this is the layout without the chicane. Okay, who's that? Tyson Alta 4. Let's leave him by. So yeah, when you have, for example, the RaceLab app overlay, you don't really need the black boxes from iRacing anymore. Yeah. And the iRacing UI is pretty much dated. But that seems to be an issue with all the racing sims. I mean, look at R-Factor. Or no, not RaceLab, Race Room. They all look a bit stuck in the 90s. So that's also why we have so many external programs for that. Okay, I don't really know how to drive this, but I just want to know the fuel lap. Is this flat? No idea. So look, I can show the fuel calculator if I want to or not. Very nice plugin for OBS, the motion plugin. I can show the wheel camera while driving. Okay, let's do one more lap because that was a slow one. But this was, you see the used fuel already in the fuel calculator. Third gear maybe? Yeah, you have to lift a little bit here, I think. Maybe if you have the skill you can take it flat, I don't know. Okay, there we go. I think that was enough. Just maximize this window so I can see it properly. So 0.36 liters per lap approximately. And if you're in the race, it will, this overlay will already tell you how much you have to refuel. You check, wait, this one, refuel, average fuel, 0.4 liters per lap. You would have fuel for 50.8 more laps, and fuel at the end of this practice session would be 17.1 liters. So we're gonna do a short race session after this. I set this to 60 minutes. The Skippy doesn't have fuel for 60 minutes, so we will see how much he wants us to refuel. But for the pit stop, as a rule of thumb, if the race is shorter than 2 hours, you don't want to take tires unless you're doing oval. But for road racing, there are a few cars that take tires while refueling. You can consider it there, but most cars don't. So for example, if you're doing GT cars, GT3, GTE, they take fuel and then tires. You don't want tires in this scenario, because taking tires takes about 30 seconds, I think, and you don't gain so much time on fresh tires. So what you want to do is the black boxes again. And you go to the tires black box and you can prepare it to not take tires here. So do not have a check mark here. And this is where you set up fuel. So you can adjust how much fuel to take in the pit stops. In the Skippy, it's between 0 and the full tank, that is 19.7 liters. By the way, also if you're doing a D-Class series, you can select a fast repair here, whether you want a new car or whether you don't want a new car. In most cases, D-Class series, you don't pit, so you probably are only in the pits if you have a broken car and want a new one, but in some cases where quick repairs are available and you don't want one, make sure to uncheck it here. We'll just hop into the race session now. How bad was my time? It was 0.7 seconds slower than the second slowest guy, which was Nim Cross, by the way. So Tyson Alta 4, fastest guy in front of Alex Ford Motion, Timo Govend. We'll just skip to the race. This is an I session, by the way. Very nice to practice. And another tip I just found out. A series that is nice for D-Class is actually the Fanatic Global Challenge. You can drive the Cadillac or the Kia Optima. Kia is front-wheel drive, Cadillac is rear-wheel drive. If you want to go into GT cars, I would recommend driving the Caddy, because this Kia with front-wheel drive is weird. If you want to end up in the TCR, for example, it might be a good car. But yeah, this is a nice option for D-Class driving. I still would probably stick in the MX-5 though, but if you're really sick of that car, check out that one. Both cars are free. For example, this week it is at Lime Rock Park, so you don't have to pay anything to drive it. I did one race, gained some safety rating, even though I got a 4X, because some people think it is the slower car's responsibility to get out of the faster cars way, which is not the case, but whatever. So grid. So 1 hour race. This is about 60. Oh god, how do I start this?
Green flag, green flag.
dual clutch on the wheel. It's like cheating. So we'll do a few laps. One only.
Clear, 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 clear.
Ooh, from P10 to P7.
On the left side.
Aren't those guys faster than me?
Stay
We
right.
just need to do 1 or 2 laps until the fuel calculator works.
You're clear.
Oh, Govern is in the lead. So Govern is where he always is. Always slapping everyone.
Doing a really good job, buddy.
Where do I have to brake? Or where do those people... Oh god, where do they brake? I think I know why they were so fast, because they did more than 2 laps. Because new tire model Skippy, these tires take some lap to heat up. On the old tire model, the new tire model 6, the tires were actually faster when they were cold, so that's why people are doing super slow out laps in GTE, for example. But with the new tire model, these tires need to heat up, so there's some progress there. Come on, Alex, forward motion. Faster!
Left side. Still there, still there,
Okay. You now see the fuel
still there.
calculator. The refuel tab, the second one, it says 3.7 liters. So we have fuel for 54 more laps, and the race is approximately 64. You can see it in the relative bottom left. Lap 3 out of 63.4. 63.4 means it will be 64 laps. And in a case like this, if you just have to refuel like 4 liters, if this was a real race, what you would want to do is save fuel. And how to do that? For example, I'm stuck behind Alex forward motion. So what I want to do is, if I brake at the 2 sign usually, I just start lifting at the 4 sign, like this. And that way I save some fuel. So if you're behind someone, you're really stuck, you have no idea how to overtake them, saving fuel might be an option. If you save 2 or 3 liters, then you can take less fuel in the pits, your pit stop will be shorter and you might jump them during the pit stop, so that's always an option. But Alex forward motion decides to drive faster now, so you have to defend against Timo behind. Oh, Tyson Alter 4, what are you doing? Let's see if that lifting actually made a difference in fuel consumption. You can see last lap was 0.35. And this lap is 3.5 as well. Well, we didn't save a lot of fuel here. Oh, Timo! Timo with a sand!
Clear, clear, clear.
Jesus Christ, my visor's dirty. And I didn't assign a button. If you do Skippy and your screen looks like this, there's a function where you can tear off a visor and get a clear view again. But let's just pretend that we will pit now. There's also one thing you have to be careful with. We have to refuel 3.4 liters. And so far we used about 1.8 or so, 1.7, something like that. So if I'll check my... Let's just pull off to the side here. So I can explain it to you. The Skippy has a maximum fuel capacity of 19.7 liters. You have to refuel 3 liters. And 18 plus 3, 21. So if I would pit now, I would have a full tank with 19.7 liters again. But that's not enough, so you have to wait until the pit window is open. That means the amount of fuel you have to put in the car is lower than your difference between the current fuel and the maximum capacity. You can check that in the setup screen, like if you're driving IMSA, for example. I think it's limited to like 60% or so. Just check the setup screen when you're in a practice session for the series and see how much the maximum fuel is, or how much fuel you start the race with. You always start with a full tank for these longer races. I mean, for F3 or Porsche Cup it's different because you don't need to pit. So you just take as much fuel as needed to finish the race. Obviously, because more fuel is more weight, means slower lap times. Okay, so what I told you, tires, uncheck, 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 uncheck. And let's just say we need 3 liters, so you would set this to 3.9. Then you would enter the pits here. Pull this to the side. Or maybe here. Be careful. Pit entry. The yellow cones is where the pit speed limit starts. So on this track it's 56 kilometers per hour. If you drive a car that has a pit speed limiter, decelerate to that speed and then press the pit speed limiter. Car like the Skippy doesn't have that limiter, so you have to be careful to not speed in the pits. So you can like drive 58 until it says that slowdown, then you can slow down again. So you can gain some time in the pits like that. Just double check that the black boxes are okay. So, for example, we don't want a fast repair here now. Tires are unchecked. We would need 4 liters, but as you can see, now we are at 17.6. So the moment I park at my pit guy, they will refuel the car to 19.7.
Hard.
So we wanted 4 liters, but we didn't get them. So when I continue to drive here, oh my god, this visor is dirty. It will show that we still have to refuel a bit. Another thing, blue flags. Don't be an idiot, just let the faster guys by. Yeah, it is a blue-yellow flag, that means advisory, but just lift a bit for the others.
Clear.
In the end, you probably will lose less time by doing that instead of trying to defend and everything. Maybe our fuel is fine now because we missed a few laps. Yeah, see? Fuel at the end, 0.1.
Right side.
So because we skipped 2 or 3 laps because I was sitting in the pits talking, this would be fine now. So if you, after the pit stop, have something saying fuel at the end that is bigger than 0, then you're fine. Also because I just see the blue flags here. Not really part of this episode because next one will probably be the first multi-class race with pit stop and everything, just a recording of a race. If you have any other open topics you want to have covered in this episode, leave a comment below. That would help me because I can't think of everything that was unclear for me when I started iRacing, but I mean I'm trying to remember, but if you have anything you would love to know, just let me know. But yeah, if you're doing multi-class, and you are in the slower class. For example, IMSA, you drive GT3 and all the others are in GTE, DP. Usually GT3 cars, so the slower cars, you just drive as if the other classes don't really exist. Let's put it like this. It's not perfectly true, but it's the responsibility of the faster classes car to pass you. So of course, if they approach you on a straight, just lift a bit, let them by. That makes the life for you easier, that makes the life for them easier. But usually what faster cars do not expect is you making room in the middle of a corner. So drive the corners as you drive them normally, because this can lead to misunderstandings. So you may be taking the outside line here because you want to let them by on the inside, but also the faster cars think, hey, he's supposed to take his usual racing line. They maybe want to take the outside. This can lead to big crashes, especially when the speed difference between classes. So, for example, ILMS, the LMP1 prototype and the GTEs. That's such a big speed difference. So a lot of misunderstandings in those series that lead to frustration, to crashes. You will all the time you will hear GTE drivers complaining about LMP1 drivers and LMP1 drivers complaining about GTE drivers because of these misunderstandings. So keep that in mind. But yeah guys, pit stops and UI. If you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. Or like I said, what you want to have covered in the next episode. And yeah, also if you have questions, check out Grip TV. Usually there's always somebody of us online on Twitch who's willing to help you, I'm sure. It's a very nice, the iRacing community is really very nice on Twitch. So check that out. Check my stream out. I'm streaming Monday, Wednesday. Go man, go. Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Come on, Spotter, I'm talking right now. That's not nice. And Twitch, link is in the description below. So if you have any other questions, feel free to come to my Twitch as well and just ask. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. Yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.